If you clicked on this video, it's because you're interested in starting a repair shop. I'm not here to tell you why you should or why you shouldn't do it. I'm here to tell you how to do it step by step. So now let's start. Okay, step one's pretty simple. Choose a name. You want to choose at least 3 names that you'd like to name your business. You don't want to name it super long, like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious truck and trailer repair. Obviously, that's going to take up a lot of room on your business card. So you want to keep it short and sweet. You want to also check the Secretary of State's website to make sure that that name has not been taken. The reason why you choose 3 is because you can at least see if any one of those 3 have been taken, and if they have, then you can just choose another one. Step 2. Figure out whose name the business is going to go under. This is pretty important because if you're already working for a company that does truck and trailer repair, you're basically becoming their competitor. Now, if you signed a non-compete agreement, obviously you can't start your own business per the agreement. But the loophole is your wife can start a business and you can work for her if you trust her enough. So if you have signed a non-compete agreement, definitely figure out a family member or spouse that the name could go under if you're dedicated to actually doing this. Step 3. Get an EIN number, an employer identification number. Now, whenever you go to file taxes, the way the IRS looks at you and your business needs to be separate. If you choose to use your social security number to file taxes under your business, then the IRS is going to look at you to file all of your taxes and to owe that money. Now, if you do it on your business under an EIN number, then the IRS looks at your business separately from your taxes. And that's the way you want to keep it. You want to keep your business separate from your personal. Step 4. Get a DBA. Doing business as. Now you can go to your tax assessor's office and get this form. It's probably about $25 to $45. Now this form states that you own this business under this name. You are doing business as. And that's very important when you go to open up bank accounts and cash checks. So get a DBA. Step 5. Insurance. It is very important that you get yourself general liability insurance for your business. Now, you can get $1 million insurance or $350,000 insurance. It all depends on how much you want to pay. Now, there are customers that you cannot even step foot on their yard unless you have $1 million insurance, as well as using a third-party billing service to gain customers. They require at least $1 million insurance. Now, that sounds daunting, but it's about $250 per month or more, depending on what your policy is. Now, also want to add to that is workman's comp. Check with your state, your tax assessor's office to see if they require workman's comp for an employee if you have one. Step 6. W-9 form. Go on the IRS website and download a blank copy of a W-9 form. Fill it out. You'll have your EIN number, date, company name, your signature, and make copies of it, or just save it on your email so you can send it out to vendors. The reason for this is because if you send that to your vendors that you're going to use on a regular basis, they will not charge you tax when you purchase parts. And that's any vendor that you go to purchase parts from. You don't want to pay tax because you're going to have to pay tax later on when you file your taxes on the parts that you purchase. So you don't want to double tax yourself. Also, there are customers that do require a W-9 form to be on their yard to show that you are a legitimate business. So it's very important for you to get yourself a W-9 form. Step 7, set up your labor rates. Write down the labor rates that you're going to charge for truck service, for trailer service, for mobile repair, and for after hours call. You want to make sure that you know what you're going to charge your customers before you go out there. The worst thing is for your customers to ask you how much you're going to charge, and you sit there and look up and think, I'm not really sure. You want to make sure that you know how much you're going to charge your customers. Set up a business bank account. Go to any one of your local banks with your EIN number and your DBA and open yourself up a business bank account. You want to make sure you keep your finances separate from your personal finances. Business and personal should always be separated. Set up merchant services. What that means is set up a way to take credit card payment. Now you can go to your bank that you set up your business bank account with and they can offer you a machine to use or an app so you can be able to take credit cards on the road. Now, there's always going to be a fee charged whenever you do any kind of transaction like this. This is how credit card companies make their money. You can use PayPal. I use them for a little bit for doing credit card transactions, and they do charge for you to do the transaction and to take the money out. I also had a debit card from the actual from PayPal, but I would always transfer my money into my bank account just so I can account for it. So find a way to take credit card payments. Step 10, set up your financial services. So you need to figure out how you're going to bill your customer. Are you going to do a paper invoice or are you going to invest in a cloud-based software? I highly recommend you invest into a cloud-based software. It's $10 a month. You can do everything with the cloud-based software and it makes you look more professional. You can bill instantly right there on the job instead of having to write out a piece of paper and having to go back and keep track of it. With a software, you can go online on a laptop, mobile device, cellular phone, what have you, and keep up with money coming in, money coming out, what customers owe you, and what vendors you owe. So I do highly recommend to use a paperless system such as a cloud-based software. Step 11, setting up a billing system. Now, this means how are you going to charge the customer on the invoice? What is going to be your tax rate? What is going to be your markup scale? And how are you going to receive a vendor invoice in? So first, let's take the tax rate. You want to check with your local tax office to make sure how much a tax rate is in your state, so you know how much to charge on an invoice. If you have a cloud-based software, you can automatically enter that in, and every invoice, it will calculate that percentage. Now, markup scale. How much are you going to mark up each part? You can't mark up all of the parts the same because of all the different price points. So you need to set up a scale of parts for a certain price range, how much you're going to mark it up. And of course, the smaller the parts, the higher the markup. If you want more details on this, I can do another video. Also, on your billing for your vendor, you want to know how that paper flow is going to work. You get a piece of paper from your vendor. You're going to need to make sure that the price is correct and that they're not charging you tax. And then you enter it into your system so you know that you owe that customer, whether if it's a cloud-based software or you have a record of entries of vendors that you owe. Now, after you enter it in, now you want to write an accounting mark on it, such as a signature and a date, and then you file it away. So if there's any question about that invoice, whether you owe it or any question on the price, you can actually look back at history and say, hey, I actually got these parts for these prices back last month. Why are you charging me more? It's just so much beneficial if you have a paper workflow for your vendor invoices. Step 12, set up a logo. You want to create yourself a logo. This is pretty much a marketing scheme more than anything. Because if you know any of the well-known companies out there, you can remember their logo in your mind. And it's the same way with customers. They're going to remember your logo in their mind whenever they think about breakdowns or something that goes wrong in their fleet that they need someone to come out and fix. So it's important to create yourself a good-looking logo. Now, you can go on Fiverr and have somebody do it for cheap, or you can do it yourself. But I do highly recommend you set up a logo, one you can put on business cards, on your magnetic sign, on your side of your truck, or what have you. So very important, create yourself a logo. Step 13, build yourself a website. Now it's important for you to establish an online presence. Reason being is because when truck drivers are driving into town and they see your name pop up either on a breakdown website or just on Google Maps because they're looking for a breakdown service, they're going to look at your website. They're going to want to see what you're all about. So this day and age, because of all the technology, you want to build yourself a website. Now you can do this for free on Wix or any other free website builder. And if you need somebody to build one, then just hire somebody to build one for you. They're relatively cheap if you can find a friend and a family member that knows how to do it. Now, it's very important that you post pictures of work that you've done, any Facebook page that you have open, which I do highly recommend you do open a Facebook page for advertisement purposes. But like I said, build yourself a website. Step 14, get yourself some business cards. magnetic logo for your truck, and or shirts and hats. If your budget allows for it, you can get yourself the extra shirt and hats, but if it does not, at least get yourself business cards and a magnetic sign for your truck. This will make you look more professional, and you're going to have business cards in order to get the word out there for your company. Step number 15, set up your vendors. What I mean is choose the vendors that you're going to be using 90% of the time. Build a good relationship with them. Always go to those vendors. When you go to those vendors, you want to pick a particular person, preferably a salesperson for that establishment. Once you start building your relationship with this company, constantly buying parts from them, then you can start negotiating your prices with them. The more you buy from them, the more they're willing to negotiate with you because they can see the history of you purchasing parts with them. So it's important to set up relationships with vendors. Step 16, how to pay yourself. So what I recommend, if you're just a guy in a truck, set aside 30% for your taxes. 40% put it back into your business account. The other 30% you take out, put in your personal account to pay yourself. If you're going to file taxes, you need to make sure you keep all of your receipts. If you purchase fuel, you purchase tools, if you go to lunch, take somebody with you and claim it as a business expense. Everything you do, keep your receipts and claim it as a business expense. If you have a cloud-based software, some of these softwares have the ability to snap pictures of the receipts and they save it in the software. So when tax time comes around, you have all of your information there already. So remember, 30% for your taxes, 40% for your business, 30% for yourself. Step 17, sell your services. Get out in front of customers, get the word out on your business, and sell your services. You're going to have other vendors that are going to hit these customers up, and they're going to want the money as bad as you do. So when you go to a customer, you want to make sure you build a good relationship with them, a good rapport. Take them out to lunch if your budget allows for it. You want to make sure that you also talk to the right person. So when you go to these companies or you call them on the phone, you want to make sure you talk to the operations manager, the fleet manager, or the shop manager. And yes, you can get businesses that have shops. I can do another video to show you how to do that. But you want to make sure that you're constantly out hitting the streets, getting customers. This is a very important part of your business. You're going to have so many other competitors out there trying to take your customers from you. Once you start growing, you're going to need to get yourself a salesman to go out there and hit the streets for you. Because if not, someone else is, and they will take those customers for you. I guarantee it, they will take those customers from you. If you like this video and you want to see more, leave me a comment below. Click like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Now, without further ado, get out there and make that money.